Good morning. It is 10 a.m. We're coming to you virtually due to the weather. A couple of rules. Let's all the commissioners, please leave your cameras on at all times so we can make sure that we maintain a quorum. I'm going to identify those calling in. We have two commissioners calling in by phone, Diane and excuse me, and Vernon. So we've established a quorum. I'm going to call the meeting to order. But before we approve the agenda, I'm going to make a modification to the agenda. I'm pulling the BetMGM from the consent agreement, and we're going to add it to Mr. Mooney's presentation so we can discuss that. And having said that, can I get an approval to the modified agenda, please?
So move.
Seconded?
Second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Is there a discussion,
Sir?
Chair, is there a discussion of this matter before it's added, or is it just-
No, we've just moved it. We'll discuss it when I bring it up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ah,
You're opposed to changing the agenda?
I oppose on the ground that we just received this email this morning on this matter, and fortunately, I've had a chance to kind of glance at the information that Ms. Lingo sent, and thank you, Mr. Mooney, for calling me. But I'm concerned that we have more time to really discuss this.
Well, Commissioner Hodges, we can discuss this
Right.
on the agenda when I bring it up on the agenda. So
Okay.
now I'm just trying to get the agenda approved,
Okay,
and I assume you're okay with that.
that's fair. Yes, that's fair.
Great, thank you. Okay, now we need to go to the approval of the minutes, first with the open session of November 17th. Anyone have any checks, changes, or corrections to make? Hearing none, can I get a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. How about now for the open session, December 1st of 2022? Any corrections, alterations, or changes? Hearing none, can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye. We'll now move to the consent agenda. The first item is the new instant ticket games, number 631, $5 Corvette cash. Number 632, $10 money bag multiplier. Number 633, $20 hot 777. Second are the EGD games and component testing, certified lab software, hardware, and game certifications. BLTs, table game components, and instant bingo machines from the period of November 3rd, 2022 to December 1st, 2022. Third are the consent agreements, regulatory violations. Hollywood Casino, June amended, and August 2022. Horseshoe Casino, June, July, and August of 2022. Ocean Downs Casino, April, July, and August of 2022. Rocky Gap Casino, May, July, and August of 2022. Gaming license application denials and revocations. Lottery retailer license revocations. Staff reports from James Nielsen, Deputy Director, Chief Operating Officer. James Butler, Assistant Deputy Director, Chief of Staff. James Logue, Managing Director, Gaming. John Mooney, Managing Director, Regulatory Oversight. Solomon Ramsey, Managing Director, Sales and Marketing. Paula Yoakum, Managing Director, Financial Officer. Carol Gentry, Managing Director, Communications. And Holly Sitko, Principal Counsel of the OAG. Anyone care to pull anything off for discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion for approval?
I'm sorry, is this what we discussed?
No, it's not. It's not. That MGM is not on that.
Okay.
Okay, we took it off. So, can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Let's go to the operator reports. We'll start with Amy Brennan with Hollywood.
Good morning. In November, our slot revenue was down slightly while our table games, sportsbook, and poker revenue was up compared to budget and year over year. In December through December 11th, from a revenue perspective, same story as November, with a slight decrease in table games and slots, and up in both poker and sportsbook. From a marketing and promotions perspective, we have added a casino host team over the course of the last quarter, and I'm pleased to report our VIP rated segments are up 12%, in part due to some of our events that we've held, like our bakeware gift giveaway every Wednesday in the month of November. Our super progressive jackpot did hit for $35,000. And so for New Year's Eve and our December events, we are seeding that for 2023 at $23,000 as a grand prize. We have our VIP holiday party today, hence my ugly sweater. Our guests and our team members will be wearing our holiday sweaters today. And we're hoping about 200 or 250 of our top VIPs show up if this weather holds out. From a team member engagement and events perspective, in November, we had a food truck for our team members to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. And so our culinary folks didn't have to cook for them. We also gave them gift cards as a thank you for all they've done over the last year. In December, we held town hall meetings last week for all of our team members. I mentioned the ugly sweater contest today that we're actually having. We will be giving them a holiday gift as well. And from a community perspective, we did participate and donate to the annual Thanksgiving dinner in the community projects of Havre de Grace. And we are participating in a Salvation Army Angel Tree and Toys for Tots, which is important to both our team members and our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Any questions? Hearing none. Thank you. Let's go to Ocean Downs. Bobby Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Overall, gaming slot and table revenue was down slightly, 0.6% to 2021. Slot revenue was up almost 243,000, 4.3% year over year. Our coin in was up 5.6% to last year, but our hold was just a bit lower than the prior year. Table games revenue was down to 280,000 or 28.8% to November, and our table drop was down 4.6% to last year. But our hold was 24% compared to almost 30 in 2021. Sports wagering handle was 2.3 million in November, and our hold was 9.7% for a taxable win of 221,000. In comparison to October, our wagering was flat, but our hold was lower, yielding 120,000 less in win. Our Gritty Piggy promotion was super popular in the month of November. We had better temperatures here in town, so we had a lot more people, which benefited the casino. And we had a strong Thanksgiving weekend with our tournament of turkeys. So that went over really well. They weren't real turkeys, but you know. Community involvement kind of ties with our marketing piece. So we have raised 16,000 cans of food for our local food bank, the 1st through the 20th, as well as providing dinner for that group of people that run it, so they didn't have to cook for the holidays. Our 12 tournaments of Christmas, which ended on the 12th, raised almost $10,000 for Toys for Tots. And we just finished yesterday filming our holiday wishes, which will air next week on Delmarva Life. We granted around $5,000 in wishes, which provided oil, food, driving lessons, assisted those in need that were sick. So we're really excited to be able to do that again this year. And then today we have our team member holiday event. We'll do prizes and games, and we have Touch of Italy that's going to be providing the food for that. So our team members as well don't have to cook. And then we have finished our team member survey. It's the first one we've had since COVID, and our response rate was over 85%. So we're really proud of that.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Bobby. Any questions? Hearing none, let's go to Ryan Eller with Live.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hope you can hear me. We had a solid month at Live in November. Gaming revenue finished at $59.3 million, which is up 2.8% compared to prior year. Non-gaming actually finished at $8.7 million, which was up considerably over prior year as we came off the COVID restrictions. Slots finished at 39.3, down slightly, 1.8% compared to prior. Tables was 16 million, which is down 2% compared to 2021. And poker was flat. We're about to enter our anniversary of the opening of our retail sports book. So in November, we saw $2.7 million worth of revenue, obviously up over prior year where we didn't have any history in that area. So a pretty crowded marketing calendar in November. We had a really successful MMA event here with over 2,500 attendees. That was on the 12th. It was Shogun MMA. Very well received. It took up the entire evening. And with MMA events, you never actually know how the card will play out and how long that will be. But it was a good all ages event. So we eagerly look forward to hosting them again in the future. Throughout the month, we had a variety of high-end giveaways, Jade gift set giveaways, which continued on a weekly basis. For Veterans Day, we had a specific drawing specifically for veterans, and we actually hosted the Black Panther movie premiere. So overall, very strong programming in November. For team member events, we distributed turkeys to all of our team members on the 17th and 18th of November. That actually amounted to over 2,400 turkeys that we distributed to our employees. We actually continued from there with what we call our season of surprises, where we go through and draw employee names for a variety of prizes continuously through the end of the holiday season, which is meals, gifts, those are retail gift bags, those are experiences of travel. Those could be things like dry cleaning or cash prizes. So that is ongoing. And on the community side, we began our participation for Angel Tree and Toys for Tots at the end of the month last year. We're continuing it through the holidays now. We provided just over $42,000 to support community organizations and events in the month of November. Highlight of which was receiving the Corporate Philanthropist of the Year Award for 2022 from the Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County. On the community side, we've also, through donations specifically around Thanksgiving, provided 800 turkeys to the Anne Arundel Food Bank and another 400 to the Capital Food Bank. We also provided volunteer services for the food bank to support it during the Thanksgiving holiday. We also provided meals to the Baltimore station for which housed 75 veterans for therapeutic rehabilitation. And we hosted the Governor's Office of Small and Minority Business Affairs for their veteran outreach luncheon during the month of November. So with that concludes my update for Live. Any questions?
Oh, but that's good work, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rocky Gap, Brian.
Good morning, everybody from wonderful winter wonderland, Western Maryland. Hope everybody's having a good day. Revenues of just over $5.2 million in the month of November were down 1.3% to prior year, or about $63,000. Slot revenues were down 2% or $98,000 versus prior year. While we had better volume overall in the property and flat table drop, we did see a decrease in hold year over year, which represented the 2% decrease. Table games, on the other hand, had a great month. We were up 7.6% year over year, helped with slightly larger jackpots year over year. So we were really happy to see a good table games ending for the month of November. We had great volume just overall in the property. Our hotel occupancy was over 77% for the month of November. And as anybody knows, in Western Maryland, going into November, having great occupancy like that's always a home run for us. From a promotional standpoint, we had our pick and pluck hot seat. We also had kiosk games that consisted of Gobbler's Gold and Stuff Your Pockets kiosk games, along with some table games activations suited blackjack giveaway, and we had our blackjack frenzy hot seat as well. We supplemented the week midweek with mystery gift days every Wednesday. And from a philanthropic standpoint, we worked with our Western Maryland Food Bank to collect non-perishable food for the food bank, and the property also supplemented some of those givings to the food bank, which we're really always happy to work with them. Does a lot of great service for our local community. One local donator also won $2,000 in free slot play for the end of month drawing. We had several team member events. We did our version of the Thanksgiving sandwich. It's a Thanksgiving meal on a sub roll, which our team members really liked. I don't know if it was as good as, I won't mention the national brand that does it, but we think we did a good job with it, and our team members really liked it. We also worked with one of our local bakeries to provide fresh pizza rolls for our team members. They always like that. And we gave every team member a $25 gift card to Walmart for spending in the local community. Our HR team for the month of December is working on a 12 days of Christmas, which is going to involve numerous food opportunities for our team members, gifts, drawings, and find the elf on the shelf, which our team members already really do enjoy. From an entertainment perspective, in November, we had a Bonkers comedy event, which was sold out. And we also had our friends from Las Vegas, the Thunder from Down Under, with a packed house that evening. From a December standpoint, we started off the month very strong, surpassing year-over-year expectations. Obviously, today's event leading into the weekend was unfortunate, but we'll try to do everything we can to minimize any of that impact. We're really focused on making sure that our guests are safe, keeping lots and sidewalks cleared, and making sure that our team members, if they are not needed or are not asked to come in during this event. We're looking forward to a really strong New Year's Eve. We're obviously going to be sold out that evening with some really great programming. We're doing a Roaring 20s or Gatsby theme. So we're really excited. We have a local entertainer named Julian Stevenson coming in to do some Roaring 20s music in our lobby, which we think is going to be fun. And we think we'll close out the year very strong. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Hearing none, Commissioner Stakem, you're not going to go to that New Year's Eve party.
I have to ask my wife.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Randy Conroy, Horseshoe.
Happy holidays from the Horseshoe. Good to see everybody. Stay safe today for sure. Pleased to report Horseshoe had improving revenues year on year in November. Our slot revenues were $10.5 million, up from $10.3 million last year. And table games generated $5.8 million, up from $5.3 last year. So improving trends, and we're seeing those positive trends into December as well. Sports betting generated $544,000 in the month. No comparison to prior year. Mobile kicked off late in the month, and it's just crazy times in mobile, so it's tough to tell how that shakes out yet. From a retail perspective, it'll probably take a couple months to sort itself out. From a promotional standpoint, December was a big holiday gift card giveaway for our customers. They appreciated that to help support their Christmas. We did give a lottery gift card, our lottery ticket giveaway on December 2nd. That was very well received, so much to the point we're going to do it again, and we're going to do some of that for our team members as well for Christmas. December 30th, we have an important drawing for the Horseshoe all month long. Customers have generated entries into a Super Bowl giveaway. So with our affiliation with the NFL and the Baltimore Ravens, we have a super fantastic Super Bowl experience for two lucky customers that we'll give away on December 30th. And then obviously, like all, getting ready for our New Year's Eve party. We expect over 500 customers for our VIP party, and it should just be a fun time to ring in the new year. From a team member's perspective, I think I mentioned last time, we had a great Thanksgiving celebration, nice feast for everybody. We gave away some local holiday pies and then did some gift cards as well, similar to other casinos. This Christmas, we're doing a similar type experience with meals, and then as many mentioned, ugly sweaters. So we also have Ugly Sweater Fridays. Perhaps we should have a contest amongst casinos. Maybe Mr. Martin can officiate. I will tell you that I have won the ugly sweater contest every year at the Horseshoe, so I'm pretty proud of my offering, but we'll see.
Who's the judge?
Yes. Well, many year-end to-dos for us. We generate on a calendar year, so a lot of appraisals and just getting ready for the next year. From a community perspective, we had some extra pies from our Thanksgiving event, so we were able to donate about 200 wonderful local pies to Paul's Place, which is a homeless shelter in Pigtown, not too far away from us. We ended up our blanket drive, and we had a full box of blankets this year, so that was good. We've also announced our renewed support for the CIAA basketball tournament in February, which is an important event for the city of Baltimore. And within November, we had a cystic fibrosis financial sponsorship that was a wonderful event on the Inner Harbor. And then finally, one of the great things that I'm a part of is the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, which is funded entirely by casino revenues, which flow out of us to the state and then back into the city. And we had a number of important announcements in November and December, not the least of which was the Middle Branch Fitness Center in Cherry Hill, which was just a spectacular building that some of which was funded by gaming revenues. With that, happy to answer any questions.
No, thank you. Jeff Schrader, MGM.
Good morning. While a bit anticlimactic following what was a record-breaking October for us, November was nevertheless a pretty solid month for the casino, with gaming revenues up 6% over November 2021. This was led by a 10% increase in the table games revenue and a 2% increase in slot revenue. Our poker revenue was up 18% year over year, and the sports book wrote over 100,000 tickets with a 12.63% hold. On the operational front, property supported the launch of mobile sports betting with BetMGM ambassadors and tech support staff to help customers get online and start mobile betting. We also had a number of additional promotions and giveaways in November, including our ever popular monthly gift giveaway. In November, it featured servingware and other hosting tools in advance of the holidays. We had a Sugar Wish gift giveaway, a Visa card giveaway, and a Thanksgiving-themed food giveaway. We also had 2 November-themed kiosk games, Fall Farmin' and Turkey Time, where guests had a chance to win up to $10,000 in free play. And our tiered Wheel of Winners, easy for me to say, returned again in November. We offered a few VIP events as well, including a sip and paint night at Osteria Costa, our Italian restaurant, and an $800,000 winner-take-all blackjack tournament. At this point, we're preparing for the year end with a couple of special events, including tomorrow is our annual employee holiday party. We don't have an ugly sweater contest, but I think unironically I might win should I wear a sweater. And we have an extravagant Bourbon Street themed New Year's Eve plan, which we're all looking forward to. We have an update on our various construction projects that we've got ongoing to enhance the property. Our outdoor gaming project is coming along really nicely. We opened the new space last month, and that's been doing quite well. And we've been working to enhance the original space, outdoor space, with an eye towards opening that space before the new year. I believe that we're looking to activate hopefully by the 30th with the idea towards getting it open for New Year's Eve. Our conversion of retail space into gaming space continues on schedule. We're still projecting that to open sometime in Q1 of 2023. In entertainment, the theater continues to bring in fantastic entertainment for our guests, including Grammy Award-winning R&B artist Maxwell, who took the stage in the theater on November 12th and 13th. Mexican songstress Gloria Trevi had a packed crowd on the 18th. Our extremely popular Vietnamese show, Legendary Nights, returned, I think, for the 14th time on Thanksgiving Eve. And on November 25th, the theater welcomed Puerto Rican salsa orchestra El Gran Combo. Additionally, starting tonight through Sunday, we have 6 shows with Cirque Dreams Holidays, which is really a fantastic show for the whole family. My kids love it. We've gone now 3 years in a row, and they change it up, and it's a really unique, interesting show that keeps everyone entertained. In community report, our employees have been out working in the community over the past month, volunteering at a number of events, including Harvest Feast, which is our annual volunteer event with Washington Commanders Charitable Foundation. Employees help package 90,000 pounds of food for distribution to 2,500 low-income families. We also worked with the United Communities Against Poverty to help organize a food pantry for the homeless, and participated in a charity poker tournament with the Progress Club Foundation. That's my report for the month, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you, Jeff. We'll move now to the vendor reports. We'll start with Jeff Hale with Scientific Games.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy to be here. This past week, we completed our Toys for Tots drive. I'd like to thank the lottery and Montgomery Park for assisting us in that campaign. On a corporate level, we are currently doing the Global Holiday Giving campaign, which is partnered with the Global Food Bank Network. That'll run through the end of the year. On a software level, we are working on a software change to go in late Q1, early Q2 of next year. That's a security change which affects the printing of tickets and gives you more flexibility on where you can print tickets from. More to come on that later. Also like to congratulate you on the performance of your self-service devices. This past week, we passed $1 billion in sales just from the self-service units. So very, very successful on that level. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Well, hearing none, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Let's go to who's next? Travis Priest with Pollard.
Good morning, everyone. We'll kick it off with an update on our production. Since the last time we met in September, giving the vendor report then, Pollard has put into 12 instant scratch games into production. We've delivered 8 to market, officially launching since that time. 5 of those being 5 unique holiday themed price points launched on October 17th. As we look to the upcoming quarter, we have 4 games set to launch on December 29th, another 4-game launch on January 23rd, which includes a family of games launched across 4 price points, a themed gold family of games. Then, of course, the spotlight of calendar Q1 activity for 2023, launching a brand new price point, the first $50 game celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Maryland Lottery, aptly titled 50 Years, which will be supported by a well-crafted media campaign that includes radio, social media, digital paid, in addition to retailer point of sale, and Maryland Lottery branded scratcher tools for players for the ultimate player tactile experience. So very proud of those support efforts on that front. Recapping fiscal 23 to date, we have about 23 weeks of sales under our belts. Maryland Lottery is performing about 4.4% greater than the U.S. average, which is off about 1.1% down. The higher price points are definitely driving that growth in the great state of Maryland there at 19.2% up at the $10 price point and 30s up 4.6%. So despite inflation, players' wallets are continuing to see activity at those areas in the portfolio of scratch games. Overall sales year to date through the 23 weeks is $410 million versus $393 million year prior, same time. So it's about 4.4% swing. Your average selling price year prior was $6.94, and through 23, same time to date, $7.26. So that's about a growth of 4.5% following the total portfolio growth. As we talked about earlier, holiday sales definitely a big part of the success in the fiscal, with total holiday sales up on the campaign 11.8%, with a big driver of that coming from $5 and $10 games, with the $5 specifically up over $1 million in revenue when compared to last year's $5 game. So a very impressive 9-week period of holiday sales so far, with 9 more shopping days left between now and December 25th. So we hope for a successful conclusion, keep those numbers strong. So very, very awesome to see those efforts come to fruition. Your projected 5-year CAGR based on 23 weeks of sales is 5.5%, compared to the lottery of interest benchmark class group of 3.3%. Those lotteries of interest class comparison group are Connecticut, DC, North Carolina, New York, Virginia, and West Virginia. Since the pandemic era, or since 2020, per capita sales growth has averaged 6.3% in Maryland, relative to the lotteries of interest at 4.5%. So once again, staying ahead of the benchmark class comparison group. On the collaboration update front, our next round of planned in-person plant tours for our Pollard production facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan, is being targeted for March of 2023. So hopefully absent no snow, and people can travel and enjoy safety in the air and whatnot. So we look forward to that. Related to community involvement on the give back front, our local team was happy to participate in the Toys for Tots drive as part of Maryland Lottery's collection campaign in support of those efforts. And that concludes my remarks. Happy to take any questions at this time.
Well, thank you, Travis. Let's go to IGT with Gary.
Good morning.
There you go. Good morning.
Morning. Operationally, everything's going well. We completed a successful failover to our backup data center in Texas. And during that time, we used that time to update our servers to current approved patch levels. We're upgrading our internal ticketing system to streamline operations, more on the back end, not really anything the lottery would see, but we're hoping to leverage some operational improvements with this new update. And we have a maintenance batch software release scheduled for Q1 of next year. Actively working on it for a while, making sure anything that's outstanding gets pulled into it. And it's currently targeted for probably early Q1. And that completes my report.
Great. Thank you, Gary. Mr. Director.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. November's results for the traditional lottery side, very strong, still riding the wave of that huge $2.04 billion jackpot earlier in the month that was won in the state of California. So that certainly contributed mightily to our not only November tally, but also was a significant increase year to date. Our year to date numbers on the lottery side, we are up nearly 6% on total lottery sales, and we're up a little over 11.5% on the profit side on the lottery. You heard from all of our casino partners and good year-to-date results as well. We're up nearly 7% on the casino revenue numbers across the board, and on the casino contributions, relatively flat, up 0.5%. On the sports wagering front, year-to-date handle over $324 million. And the contributions to the Blueprint for Maryland Future Fund, a little over $3.2 million. Elsewhere in sports wagering news this week, our friends at the Sports Wagering Application Review Commission, the SWARC, awarded 3 more sports wagering licenses, 2 on the mobile and 1 on the facility side. You heard from a number of our partners today about their charitable contributions. Proud to say that we continue to work with the state of Maryland on the Maryland Charity Campaign Fund that has been extended through the end of the calendar year, as well as we're very proud to work with our partners at Scientific Games on their very successful Toys for Tots program. And earlier in the month of November, we participated in a food bank contribution collection exercise here at the Maryland Lottery. I want to spend a minute as we get to the end now of the calendar year on acknowledging 5 people who will be retiring from their service here at Maryland Lottery and Gaming. And we wish them well in their retirement years. Marvin Sidnor, who spent nearly 10 years with the Maryland Lottery and Gaming. On the gaming side, Lachelle Bynum, 29-year veteran with her lottery service. Bob Howells, the Dean of Procurement Directors within the state environment. This would be the second time Bob is retiring, but you can't retire twice. You only retire once. He's just been hanging on for a while after that. But total years of service to the state, 21 years, 17 of those with Maryland Lottery and Gaming, and he will be missed. Al Ringgold, who heads up our sales effort on the lottery side. Al will be retiring at the end of the month after 17 years plus in service to the Maryland Lottery, but significantly more years in the lottery industry. We wish him well in his retirement. And last, certainly not least, in the litany of retirees, our very own Carol Gentry, who will be retiring the other month after a 19-year plus run here at the lottery. And I believe Carol is on our superstar hotline. Carol, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Carol, congratulations. And again, for me, on behalf of the entire agency, thank you so much for your contributions.
Thank you. It's going to be very strange. This has been a long and interesting journey for me. I mean, I was here before casinos entered the picture, before sports wagering, before so many things. Randy, you know, we've been around a long time. I love working here. I love working with all these people. But it's time for new adventures for me. Can I say one thing about an adventure I had this morning, by the way? So I come in, I get set up, I get everything done. Don't worry about the weather. I turn on my computer. I can't get the camera to work, but I can get the microphone. I can get the microphone, but I can't get the camera. I'm scrambling 2 minutes before this meeting starts, and I run into this a training room, find it. I have them help me set it up, and the chair is so big that I have to find something to sit behind me. And wonder of wonders, I find a lottery beach ball. Don't ask me why, but a lottery beach ball, which I've been using to prop myself up because the chair is so big that if I sit all the way back, I'm back here. So maybe it's a sign or a symbol to say that I've had a ball, but I don't know, it seems to work. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. It's really been a fantastic journey, and I'm going to miss all of you.
Well, Carol, you and I walked in the door about the same time in 2003. So I'm going to miss you. We'll all miss you. You've done a fabulous job. So from the chair, thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
And Carol, briefly, I'm going to keep you working here a little while longer. We have some exciting news coming up. Many of you, I hope, who are viewing and participating here today are well aware that next week we transition from the traditional lottery numbered balls and mechanical machine to a new random number generator system for drawings. Can you tell us briefly about that?
Yeah, so on Monday, we had Smart Play, it's our vendor, come in and set up the drawing machines. They're now going to be held at lottery headquarters in a very secure space. It's got 24/7 camera security, double code access to get in, only two drawing, it has to be a minimum of 2 drawing officials to get in, a high level of security with each machine, double lock on every machine. They're what's called air gapped, so they're not connected to the internet, so nobody can access them or tamper with them. And they're efficient, they're effective, they're cost effective for the state. We think once everybody gets used to it, that it's going to be a great way to do our drawings. We've been promoting it with all our internal assets since Monday. You'll see it on the website. We have FAQs. We have an instructional animated video you can see. WBAL has also been promoting the fact that we're switching over to RNG. And then for the next couple of weeks on WBAL, when somebody turns in to see the drawings, which will no longer be televised, there will be somebody there. There's promotions that talk about going to mdlottery.com for all the drawings. And you can watch them 24/7, and you can use your mobile app to see them. So we know it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for people, but 30 other lotteries across United States, North America are using RNG. And we thought, given the fact we're heading to 2024, it's 2023, it's time for our 50th anniversary, that it was time to move on with technology. So we're excited. I have a lot of extra one of these. If anybody wants some, let me know, stop by, and I'll be happy to share them with you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol. Randy, back to you.
No, before you go, there's something coming up on the 19th of January, which will be before our next meeting. You want to speak to that? What's going on in this next year?
You know what? Thank you for bringing that full circle, because I forgot. We're not going to meet till after that. So on the 19th of January, we will be kicking off our 50th anniversary year with a meeting here at Maryland Lottery and Gaming for employees and retirees and some of our vendor partners. But all throughout 2023, we'll have a number of events, products, promotions that we'll be entertaining you with, hopefully throughout the coming months. But that's a big kickoff for us next month, and we look forward to a lot of exciting things in the year ahead.
And Carol, you better be there.
I will. You can count on it.
Are you finished, Mr. Director?
I was finished before I started, I think.
Well, there you go.
That will wrap it up. And if there are any other comments, I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Mooney. So, Mr. Mooney, you're going to go right into your hearing. So before you do that, we're going to do the bit MGM laugh. Oh, I have to read this. We will conduct one manufacturing license applicant hearing today. I will collectively administer the oath to anyone who may testify or answer questions in the hearing. Mr. Mooney will conduct the hearing for the applicant and describe the results of the staff's investigation into the applicant. Anyone who is on the call for the hearing on behalf of the applicant may speak. The commission may ask questions of staff or the applicant representative. Anyone here on behalf of the applicant may address the commission and take questions if necessary. At the end of the hearing, I will ask for a motion to find the applicant qualified for manufacturer's license. If found qualified, I will ask for a motion to direct staff to draft a decision statement. Now I will collectively administer the oath to all individuals who may testify or answer questions. This will be for agency staff who worked on the background investigation and the applicant's representative who is present for the hearing. Everyone who will take the oath, now state your name before I administer the oath, starting with agency staff and then the applicant representative.
John,
Mark
you're on mute.
Hermer. Bill Metz.
Anyone
Not sure
else?
if it's my turn. This is John Akers. I think I'm the applicant.
Thank you. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that any statement you will make in this matter will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I do.
Mr.
I
Mooney?
do.
Commissioners, we are conducting a hearing on the manufacturer license application submitted by Akers Manufacturing Company, known in this report as the applicant, AMC, or the company. The Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency is required by the gaming law to conduct an investigation to determine if Akers Manufacturing Company is qualified to be awarded a manufacturer's license. You, the commissioners, have been provided with a complete investigative report on Akers Manufacturing Company. You have also received a copy of the public report that was in your packets and made available to everyone on the agency website. I will summarize the reports that have been given to you. As a prerequisite for being eligible for a video lottery facility manufacturer's license, the applicant must submit a manufacturer's license application to the Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Commission. The applicant must prove to the commission by clear and convincing evidence that it meets the qualification criteria set forth in the state government article 91A-01, the gaming law. Specifically, the applicant must prove that it is qualified under the state government article 91A-07C7I through V, and not disqualified under 91A-08D. An applicant must provide all information to the commission that is necessary for qualification determination as the applicant, its principals, and its principal entities. The Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency conducted a suitability background license investigation of Akers Manufacturing Company in connection with his application for a manufacturer's license filed with the commission. Akers Manufacturing Company was formed in the state of Washington on May 3rd, 2018, and its headquarters in Nevada. The company manufactures, distributes, and maintains a casino management technology system called Foundation. The system consists of hardware and software, which provides casinos with a cashless transmission solution, allowing players to send cash credits to gaming machines and table games directly from their bank accounts and credit cards. Additionally, the Foundation system allows casinos to analyze player experiences and instantly deploy targeted incentives and bonuses to gaming machines. The system can be expanded to accommodate sports betting as well as online gaming. The applicant is wholly owned by Mr. John Akers and has been contracted with Penn National Gaming to provide its Foundation system. AMC is currently licensed by gaming regulatory authorities in 13 states and by 16 tribal gaming commissions and agencies. Akers Manufacturing Company has submitted a gaming manufacturer license application, and Mr. John Akers has submitted a principal employee application to the commission. Throughout most of calendar year 20 and 21, the COVID-19 pandemic had an adverse impact on certain of AMC's operations. In 2020, the company lost revenue due to forced casino closures and delayed planned expansion of its business into new markets. In addition, AMC relies heavily on third-party suppliers and manufacturers in China for parts needed to manufacture its products. And supply chains issues caused by the COVID-19 outbreak resulted in the company experience production delays. Although Akers Manufacturing was formed in May 2018, the company was in its development stages throughout all of the calendar year of 2019 and had no sales and minimal assets and liabilities. As such, we limited our review of AMC's operating performance and financial conditions to the calendar years 2020 and 2021 and to the first 6 months of 2022. Akers Manufacturing Company's operating performance during its brief history has been poor, with net losses totaling $3.2 million during the period from January 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2022. Although the company acquired Penn National Gaming, Inc. as its first major customer in 2021, it continues to invest heavily in marketing its casino management technology system in an attempt to attract new customers. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic impacted AMC's manufacturing operations and affected business growth opportunities. Although the company is generating positive cash flow from operations, mainly in the form of customer deposits, its financial condition is marginal and its shareholder deficit continues to grow. However, AMC is not heavily leveraged and has available borrowing capacity should the need arise. The company has produced a significant amount of inventory and is well positioned to quickly meet any increase in customer demand for its products. AMC's auditors have not expressed any concern with the company's operations, financial conditions, or continuation of as an ongoing concern. In addition, the company's founder has an extensive history of launching and growing successful companies in the gaming industry. It is not uncommon for new companies to face the type of challenges the applicant is experiencing. However, the company's ability to remain viable is dependent on growing its customer base and generating sufficient revenues and cash flows from operations which it has yet to prove it is capable of doing. While there are no overwhelming factors that would lead us to believe that Akers Manufacturing Company is financially unsuitable for licensing as a gaming manufacturer, it is recommended that we conduct an annual review of the company's operating performance and financial conditions for the foreseeable future. We conducted a complete and thorough background investigation as authorized under the gaming law by analyzing corporate records and documents, scrutinizing the business operations, practices, and the transaction of Akers Manufacturing for the 2.5 years, and we offer the following. A comprehensive review was conducted of all the consolidated financial statements for the last 2.5 years. Akers Manufacturing Company satisfies the standards for financial stability and integrity and responsibility. integrity of financial backers, mortgages and bondholders, and other holders and indebtedness. Based on our review, there are no material issues involving the known financial backers of the applicant. We found that the Acres Manufacturing possesses the requisite good character, honesty, and integrity. Acres Manufacturing has sufficient business ability and experience. The applicant is not disqualified from being issued a manufacturer license based on the criteria listed in 91A 08D. The applicant is qualified to be awarded a license by the commission. We identified the below listed personal qualifier, Mr. Akers, who was associated with the applicant. We conducted an extensive due diligence investigation on the qualifier. The applicant, Akers Manufacturing, is wholly owned by Mr. John Akers. We found that this principal has satisfied the application qualification criteria under the gaming law and is not disqualified. Our investigation has confirmed that the applicant has sufficient financial resources and found no significant derogatory information regarding the applicant's qualifications. Our investigation has not found any disqualifying factors that would preclude the applicant from being issued a manufacturer license. Based on the criteria in State Government Article 91A07C7 and 91A08D, we conclude that the applicant and its principal has established by clear and convincing evidence his qualifications for a manufacturer license.
Thank you, Mr. Mooney. Mr. Akers, here to address the commission?
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from any of the commissioners, Mr. Mooney or the applicant? Hearing none. Can I get a motion to find that Acres Manufacturing Company has established by clear and convincing evidence its qualifications under the gaming law for a manufacturer's license?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. It passed. And I get a motion to direct staff to draft a decision statement of the commission on the qualification of Acres Manufacturing Company for a manufacturer's license.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. That concludes the hearing. Mr. Mooney.
Again, commissioners, this is a discussion on the regulatory violation of BetMGM. On November 16th, BetMGM accepted mobile wagers before being issued its license by the commission. BetMGM attempted to make a configuration change to their beta website to perform final user acceptance testing prior to the control demonstration on the 21st. The beta site is built to mimic the production website, and that change inadvertently allowed real players access to the sportsbook page after successfully registering an account and making a first-time deposit. BetMGM worked with GeoComply and had the Maryland inclusion zone turned off, thereby ensuring that all geolocation checks would fail if the players were outside the state of Maryland. Additionally, BetMGM voided 146 of the 146 wagers that were placed during the incident's duration. There were results in the player stakes being returned to their wallets as if the wagers had never been made, with the exception of a single patron who had been able to withdraw their winnings, the total of which included their stake. BetMGM has agreed to resolve these violations by entering into a consent agreement with the commission in the amount of $146,000. You have a copy of the signed settlement agreement that was signed by BetMGM. I also would note that Rhea Looney, the chief compliance officer for BetMGM, is on the line with others from BetMGM to discuss the issue if you have any questions.
I guess I have a couple before we open it up. This appears to be an inadvertent mistake. And it's also the largest penalty that we've ever issued to anyone here at Maryland Lottery. It's a serious mistake. And that's why I wanted to pull it out of the consent agreement so we can discuss it and have full transparency. $146,000, that's $1,000 per errant vet, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Yeah, okay. Any questions from any of the commission?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Mooney. My apologies earlier for, I guess, jumping the gun. I expected this to be discussed earlier, so I appreciate the opportunity. I have a few concerns and a few questions. This, as you said, Mr. Chair, is a very serious matter. We have an entity that violated, I'm not sure if it's law, Maryland law, but certainly commission rules, a very critical one. And I'm not sure, it was, again, we just received these documentations, this morning about what, 9 a.m. is what I was told. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to go through it yet.
Actually, they were distributed on the 13th.
Well, I got a call this morning from John and the email came out this morning. So I'm just now looking at it. And for me, at least from my perspective, I guess my first question is whether we have penalties for violating our rules. I mean, I don't see 146K as, even though it may be the largest penalty that we've ever levied against, against the company. I don't see that as, I see that no more powerful than slapping their hand, on the wrist, frankly. So I guess my concern is, number one, that we send a signal out to everyone else that we're supposed to be governing, that this is unacceptable. And I'm not sure 146K does that, frankly. Also, from what I understand, there are two things that this company did, BET MGM did that were really wrong. First, they of course accepted wagers before being issued a license by us, but also they seem to go out with an IT product that wasn't proven first. So I'm thinking, if this were MGM Grand, the actual corporate entity, I'm not sure if their stock is still in the market, but their stock would drop. There would be an immediate impact. So I'm thinking there should be penalty on that alone. And then if that's the case, what security implications are there for going out early? So I think we need to kind of, from my opinion, step back as a commission and actually table any decisions on what to do. I don't agree the settlement does it. I frankly am opposed to it. I think if anything, they should have their license withdrawn until we look at it and think, well, what can we do system-wide so it doesn't happen again? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. So, Mr. Mooney, would you like to respond to that before we go out to the BetMGM people for their comments?
I can tell you that the amount of the settlement agreement, the largest we've settled with prior to this was $5,000. So I can tell you the agency's not taking it lightly, what had happened. And I don't believe BetMGM is taking it lightly. That's why you can see the chief of compliance is on the screen here with some of their technical people. They're taking it very seriously also. And I'll let Mr. Rialuni speak for herself if she chooses.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Chairman, Commissioners, if I may address the commission. First and foremost, to introduce myself, Rialoni, Chief Compliance Officer at BetMGM. Joining me today in the event there are technical questions, I have Roman Rubis. He is the Director of Technical Governance. First, we do take this very seriously. I want to ensure the commission that, as soon as we were notified as to this issue, we acted immediately, worked closely with GeoComply to ensure that any wagering available prior to launch on authorization was stopped immediately. We worked also with the commission in getting a report to you all and launched an investigation, a technical investigation to determine why this occurred. I will turn it over to Roman to address a little bit around, if you would like, a little bit around why we do this type of testing in advance of go live. And that may help with some of the understanding of some of the testing that occurs in preparation for the soft launch and the controlled demonstration. So we do take this very seriously. We've implemented measures to ensure in additional state launches that this will not occur again. This has never occurred in any of BetMGM's prior launches in any states. So this is an isolated occurrence for BetMGM. It was 100, as you mentioned, it was 146 wagers over a 3-hour period of time. So we did immediately, as soon as we were notified, stop that, remedy it, launch a full technical investigation. The following day, we were able to provide a report on what occurred on the technical side and provide an explanation around a configuration change that allowed this to occur. If it's the commission's pleasure, I'll turn it over to Roman and he can address what occurred on the technical side.
I think that would be helpful, so please.
There's a commissioner, would you like us to go, or did you have a commission? Did you have a question?
No, have him proceed.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, and I guess to start off, just on the comment of the product not being proven, BetMGM's mobile product has been certified and tested in 19 jurisdictions. It's currently live in 19 jurisdictions. So it's not not something that has been not proven or not something that hasn't been accepted in the past. From our at the time we were going through our checks for the controlled demo that was going to occur the following week. Part of that was wrapping up our UAT testing internally. So the teams were making configuration changes to the beta site, which is hidden from production or hidden from the public. Gives us the ability to do our final checks and sign off, make sure everything's working. Again, a lot of pressure and focus on the control demo to make sure everything goes properly during that time. Essentially what happened was one of those links got redirected in production. So once a player went through, was KYC verified, and then went to go wager, or I'm sorry, instead of being brought back to the splash page that said it's showtime, you'll be able to wager soon, it was actually redirected to the sports book. So since then, we've actually took this as a lessons learned. We've working with our geolocation provider. So new states that are coming on board, we're going to ensure that those states are in the exclusion zone. They won't allow any wagers to get through. Our own internal processes are going to be in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again, as well as using our geolocation provider to ensure that no wagers get through as an additional precaution.
So if I could ask a question or two, follow up, Mr. Chair. Thank you for that. So what it sounds like, what I heard you all say was that the reason you went live before you received the commission license was because there was a glitch in your software. Is that?
No, I'm sorry. It was a website redirect. So essentially, once the player was through registration, the next step in the process was going to link them to a big splash page that gave them information about when they can wager.
Okay.
What happened was, instead of being redirected there, they were redirected to the sportsbook page.
Okay. So again, you're a major corporation, a part of one, right? I'm little me citizen. I'm trying to understand how you couldn't separate your beta of your product from going live from that mistake happening. And I'm trying to understand, you didn't have a license. I mean, that to me is the sacrosanct issue here. And so my concern, I'm just trying to understand, why would you, if you're still testing your product, you're not ready yet, why would you even, I mean, I'm assuming you have internal controls in place to even avoid that, to even like limit that possibility from actually occurring. So I'm kind of confused as to how that could happen, which is why I go to how this will happen again, someone else and not you. And, that's very not a good look. It's not a good look at all for anyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I guess what I wanted to distinguish though is this wasn't testing from a regulatory perspective or certification perspective to make sure it meets minimum requirements. This was user testing, to ensure that the controlled demo went smooth. So it's going through those checks that we typically go through for a regular state launch, making sure that everything's working as expected. So it's getting those last sign-offs from each team. And that was the testing that was.
So it was human error, not technical malfunction.
Right. It was configuration. So somebody went in, changed the configuration, and that's what caused the sportsbook to be exposed.
Any other questions, Mr. Hodges?
Thank you for that.
Okay. Mr. Mooney, any other comment from you?
No, I would just ask that for a motion to approve the consent agreement between BetMGM and the commission.
Okay, I'm going to ask for that because I've been here a long time, and I was immediately notified by the lottery when this happened. And we take it very seriously, and that's our job. We're your regulator. So where $146,000 may not sound like a lot of money, it's a lot of money. And I dare say lessons learned. So can I get a motion, please, for the approval of this consent agreement?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes. I wonder if we can actually, this kind of highlights a larger issue that I believe the commission, we should really address, after we're done with this discussion, frankly. From what our standards are as far as, penalties when something like this happens, whether or not it's their fault or inadvertent, whatever, but it happens, what those are, to what we can do to ensure that, it really doesn't happen again. Because, in this day and age, with hacking and everything else occurring online, we really can't afford it. So my recommendation is that we actually move this off the table, to be voted on to perhaps a later date. And we actually have more time as a commission to think about it, think of all implications, and look at what can be done to address our policy so that, again, it doesn't occur again. That's my opinion.
Well, Commissioner Hodges, if you have something that you'd like to put into a future agenda discussion, or if you want to meet with staff to come up with some work group to deal with these issues, I'm happy to entertain that. We will not pull it. We have a.
Okay.
It's moved and seconded. So I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Thank you. It passes.
Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for the consideration today. It is much appreciated.
Lessons learned.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next meeting, we will have no need to go into a closed session. Hopefully it will be in person. And I've lost my last page. When is the next meeting? Somebody tell me.
January 26th.
Thank you so much. It will be at 10 a.m. At Lottery headquarters. I want to, from the chair, wish everyone a happy and safe holiday. And we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Happy holidays.